Okay, so we've been going over swing, vocalization, and also listening. And so we're going to be going into the left hand and how to do these hits that you've been seeing me do whenever I swing in my right hand. Because now you should be able to at least have like a little, at least a good understanding of how to swing. So do do do, to make this kind of sound. But then I'm going to give you some left hand hits to go along with that that swing in your right hand. So it's going to sound like. So even though I'm still just swinging in my right hand, I'm actually playing these left hand hits at pretty random times that you might not be able to figure out on your own. So I want to give you some tips to know exactly when to play those. I mean, you won't always know exactly when, but you'll have some basics that you can always fall back on if you ever need to know when to hit with your left hand. And so to define a hit, a chord hit is really just a short, it's really just when you play a chord really short. So you just hit the chord and then you immediately come off. So you have all your fingers in place, just hit the chord and then bounce off. So that's a chord hit. And in terms of like when you want to hit the chord, well, we're going to do it so that we're only hitting the chord on the 1 and the and of 2. So that term, the and of 2, might not make any sense to you right now. So I'm gonna explain that to you. So basically we have our 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how we've been counting this swing. But so when you go into like wanting to say like when I want to hit these chords, you have to use this term called the and of 2 or the and of 1 or the and of 3 because that basically means when you count like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and whatever and that comes after a number, that is that number's like that number's and of blank. It's like if the and after 3 is called the and of 3. So it's like I have like 1 and 2 and 3 and that is my and of 3. So it's whatever and that comes after the number that you just counted. But it sounds kind of weird to talk about theoretically. So let's go into let's just bring this into actual playing. So I want to show you like this would be playing this chord hit on the 1 and the and of 2. So I'm gonna hit this chord on the 1. So I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm hitting this chord on the 1 and the and of 2. But in case you didn't catch that, so I'll slow that down so that we can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so I'm going to hit it on the 1 and the and of 2. So it's going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and shit. Even I make mistakes with this sometimes. It's really weird to count with both my right and my left hand. But you're basically just hitting the chord on the and after 2. But I'll just do this a bunch of times so you can hear what it really sounds like, and then you can just match me with whatever you're playing too. So I'm gonna solo in my. I'll just count this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So that's if you get good at that. So let's say I sped that up and I practiced that a lot. So I was you don't necessarily have to solo with your right hand right now. You can just practice doing that left hand hit and then incorporate your right hand as you get better at it. Or even just start off going like 1, 2 or 1. Just really simple stuff like that. But I would just start off just playing the chord on the 1 and the and of 2. And then eventually, you know, as you speed this up and you add your right hand, then it can sound like this. So you can be doing this like, let's say. But I was combining that with a few other types of hits. But in the first, like, maybe the first like 10 times I played that, that was all just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you can practice this hit. So practice this hit on the 1 and the and of 2.